Hey everyone, welcome to our channel. Before we dive into today's fascinating topic, make sure to hit that subscribe button and tap the bell icon so you don't miss any of our future videos. Now, imagine waking up one day and finding out that the internet is down worldwide. Sounds like a sci-fi movie, right? But what would really happen if the internet went down? Today, we're going to explore that scenario and break it down for you in simple, easy-to-understand terms. So, stay tuned until the end to find out all the surprising ways our lives would change. First off, let's talk about communication. In today's world, the internet is the backbone of our communication. We use it to send emails, make video calls, and stay in touch with friends and family through social media. If the internet went down, all these forms of communication would be disrupted. We'd have to rely on traditional methods like phone calls, letters, and face-to-face conversations. Businesses that depend on emails and online meetings would struggle to keep operations running smoothly. Imagine trying to coordinate with colleagues or clients without the convenience of instant messaging or video conferencing. Next, let's consider banking and finance. Most of our banking transactions today are done online, from transferring money to paying bills. If the internet went down, we'd have to go back to using cash and checks for all our transactions. ATMs might not work, and credit card payments could be impossible. This would create chaos in the financial system as people rush to banks to withdraw cash. Businesses that rely on online payments would be hit hard, and the stock markets, which depend on the internet for trading, would come to a halt. This could lead to a financial crisis affecting economies around the world. Think about how much we rely on the internet for information. We use it to read news, research topics, and learn new skills. Without the internet, we'd have to go back to traditional media like newspapers, television, and radio for news updates. Libraries would become our primary source of information, and physical books would make a major comeback. Students and researchers would face significant challenges as they lose access to online resources and databases. Education systems would have to adapt quickly, and distance learning would be impossible without the internet. Shopping would also be drastically affected. Online shopping has become a huge part of our lives. Without the internet, we'd have to go back to shopping in physical stores for everything. This would be inconvenient for many people, especially those who rely on online shopping for groceries and other essentials. Delivery services that operate through online platforms would be disrupted, causing delays and shortages of goods. Businesses that rely heavily on e-commerce would suffer massive losses, and the retail industry would need to adjust to the sudden shift back to traditional shopping methods. Entertainment is another area that would see major changes. We use the internet for streaming movies, music, and games. Without it, we'd have to rely on offline methods for entertainment. People might turn to DVDs, CDs, and board games to keep themselves entertained. The gaming community, which thrives on online multiplayer games, would be hit hard. Social media platforms would be inaccessible, and people would miss out on the daily content they enjoy. The entertainment industry, including streaming services and online content creators, would face huge setbacks. Transportation systems would also be affected. Many modern transportation services, like ride-sharing apps and online booking systems, rely on the internet. Without it, these services would be disrupted. We'd have to go back to traditional methods like calling a taxi or booking tickets in person. Navigation systems that depend on real-time data from the internet would stop working, making travel more challenging. Public transportation systems that use online platforms for scheduling and ticketing would face delays and confusion. Healthcare is another critical area that relies on the internet. Medical records, appointments, and even some treatments are managed online. Without the internet, healthcare providers would have to revert to paper records and manual scheduling. Telemedicine, which allows doctors to consult with patients remotely, would be impossible. This could lead to delays in medical care and make it harder for patients to get the treatment they need. Pharmacies that rely on online systems for managing prescriptions and inventory would face challenges as well. Work life would undergo a massive change. Many of us work remotely or use the internet for various aspects of our jobs. If the internet went down, remote work would be impossible. People would have to go back to working in offices, which could be difficult for those who have gotten used to the flexibility of working from home. Businesses that rely on cloud services and online tools would struggle to maintain productivity. It would be a major adjustment for everyone, requiring new ways of working and communicating. Travel and tourism would also be hit hard. Many aspects of travel, from booking flights and hotels to finding directions, are done online. Without the internet, planning a trip would become much more complicated. People would have to rely on travel agents and printed maps again. The tourism industry, which heavily depends on online bookings and reviews, would face significant challenges. Airlines, hotels, and travel agencies would need to find new ways to operate and serve their customers. Let's not forget about our homes. Many modern homes are equipped with smart devices that rely on the internet. Without it, these devices would become useless. Home security systems, smart thermostats, and other connected appliances would stop working. We'd have to go back to using traditional methods for controlling and securing our homes. This could be inconvenient and would require us to relearn old habits. In agriculture, the internet plays a crucial role in modern farming techniques. Farmers use online tools to monitor weather conditions, track crop growth, and manage resources. Without the internet, these tools would be unavailable, making it harder for farmers to optimize their yields. They would have to rely on traditional farming methods and face greater uncertainty in their operations. This could affect food production and lead to shortages in the supply chain. The internet also plays a significant role in science and research. Scientists and researchers use the internet to share data, collaborate on projects, and access information. Without it, progress in scientific research would slow down significantly. Researchers would have to rely on physical meetings and printed journals to share their findings. This would make it harder to address global challenges, from health crises to environmental issues, as the flow of information slows down. Governments and public services would also face challenges. Many government services are now offered online, from filing taxes to accessing public records. Without the internet, these services would have to be managed manually, leading to delays and inefficiencies. Communication between government agencies, which often relies on online systems, would become slower and more cumbersome. Public services, such as emergency response and social services, would need to find new ways to operate effectively. Despite all these challenges, people would find ways to adapt. Human beings are incredibly resilient and resourceful. We would relearn old skills and find new ways to connect and operate. Communities might become more close-knit as people rely more on face-to-face interactions. Local businesses might see a resurgence as people turn to their local communities for goods and services. While the initial shock would be significant, we would eventually find a new balance and continue to thrive. So, there you have it, a glimpse into what might happen if the internet went down around the world. It would certainly be a challenging time, but it would also be an opportunity for us to reconnect with old ways of doing things and find new solutions to the problems we face. The internet has become an integral part of our lives, but it's also important to remember that we are capable of adapting and thriving, no matter what challenges come our way. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And make sure to hit the bell icon so you're always up to date with our latest content. Until next time, stay curious and keep exploring.